What's going on, guys? Shadow Willie here, and as you see, I got my cat with me. She tends to cry a lot because she doesn't like it when she's by herself. I think she just moves behind my head. She doesn't like when she's by herself, so I have to keep her with me. So so you don't hear her constantly meowing in the background. Anyway, I'm back with you guys again for another video, and this time it's DLC abuse. DLC abuse in video games, but more specifically, DLC abuse in JRPGs. So, yeah, DLC has been abused. I think we all know that. In just normal games, fighting games, especially with Capcom. Oh yeah, we know how much it's been abused by Capcom. So, yeah, so like, in games like, action games like, I heard in Prototype, actually, in Prototype 2, there's an ability in Prototype 2 that's available in Prototype 1 as probably as unlockable ability in Prototype 1, but in Prototype 2 that same ability is used for DLC. Now that is bullshit. That's just bullshit no matter how you cut it. That is bullshit. How you gonna have a certain ability that's available in Prototype 1, put the same ability in the sequel, but make it DLC only? Bullshit. And then there's stuff with, as I said, for Capcom Street Fighter Cross Tekken, 12 characters already on the disc, and Capcom is calling it calling it DLC. Horrible. And then there's Day 1 DLC with Mass Effect. The DLC was already made. The DLC was already on the disc. They just unlocked it. So DLC, yes, it's being abused in every sense of medium. But I want to talk to you guys how it's being abused in JRPGs. What are you doing back there? You sleeping? Anyway, how it's being abused in JRPGs is actually quite simple. Stuff that we always knew that was unlockable during the PS1, PS2 era of gaming, that was said to be unlocking, like costumes, outfits, and weapons, and all that stuff, are being withheld from the game and being used for DLC. It's pretty bad, and some of them are pretty overpriced, in my opinion. It's bad. Take Final Fantasy 13-2 for instance. The game has costumes in it, and there's a section of costumes, a section in the menu, in the main menu for costumes only, just for costumes. And in that section, there's a whole bunch of available slots for various costumes, and none of those costumes are available in the game. None of those costumes are available in the game. You have to unlock, you have to buy those costumes. And I think there's one costume that's free, but for the most part, all the costumes in Final Fantasy 13-2, you have to buy them as DLC. Costumes in the normal days of gaming, when DLC wasn't around, costumes were used for to be unlocked, so you can play the game and unlock these costumes, and that was awesome. But now they're being forced onto us as DLC, and that is just not acceptable in my opinion. That's just horrible. And certain games, like I said before, are overpricing. Now in Final Fantasy, I believe the price of the costume DLC is $2.99 a pop, and to me that's a sweet spot for me. Alright, fine, I'll pay for these DLC costumes. I probably only ended up getting one. I think I got Sarah's beachwear outfit, and that was pretty much it when I had the game. I don't have the game anymore. That's pretty much it when I had the game. That was all I wanted, and that was it. And then there's freaking Tales of Graces with its DLC costumes and outfits. They are horribly overpriced, and there are costumes that can be unlocked in the game. There are 2 sets of costumes for each character. I believe there's 5 characters, 6 characters in Tales of Graces, and there are 2 costumes, only 2 costumes for each character. In freaking Tales of the Abyss and Tales of Vesperia, there were like 3 or 4 outfits already in the game that you could unlock. But now in Tales of Graces, they're being withheld from us and they're being used to DLC. Now the only 2 outfits for each character that are unlockable in the game, they are $1.99, which is a fair price because you can unlock them in the game. But you can get them early if you choose to download them, pay for them and download them. Now the other outfits in my opinion could be unlocked. There are some outfits that I feel that maybe they should be paid for DLC, but they're horribly overpriced. They're $3.99 a pop for these outfits. That's pretty bad. Final Fantasy 13, $2.99 a pop. Tales of Graces, $3.99 a pop. That is pretty bad. And unlocking characters and to unlock characters for certain games like in Disgaea, it's $2.99. That's fine. Like I said, that's my sweet spot to pay for some stuff. That's my sweet spot. $2.99. All right, fine. That's pocket change in my opinion. But when you hit $3.99, that's almost, in my opinion, that's almost $5. That's almost $5 I'm paying for just an outfit, not character, an outfit. So yes, in Tales of the Graces, the DLC is overpriced and is pretty much abused. But that's because Namco Bandai had to make up for it somewhere in the lines of localizing game because they believed the sales weren't going to be that well. But I think it's still overpriced in Japan. I believe it's as overpriced in Japan as it is here in America. But that's that's abusing it. When in your previous series, unlocking costumes, 4 or 5 costumes for each character, was just you played the game, you did some side quests, and you unlocked the costumes for the characters. What are you doing? You unlocked the costumes for the characters. That was pretty awesome. And now they're being withheld from us and being used as DLC. That's bad in and of itself, but now that they're being a little bit overpriced, that's pretty bad. So yeah, it's just not fair in my opinion. It's not fair. In the Hyperdimensional Neptunian Mark II, the characters, there's Cave and Falcom, they're $2.99 a pop, which, like I said before, it's my sweet spot. Paying for characters for $2.99 is my sweet spot. It's fine. But when it's abused, especially in Final Fantasy 13 do, where the costume menu, the menus for the costumes, there are clearly space for a whole lot of costumes, and none of them are unlockable in the game from the start. None of them are unlockable for the game. That was when the game first came out, mind you. When the game first came out, the costume section was there in the menus, and there were like 10 slots, just 10 slots there for downloaded costumes. They are withholding this content for the game. Not even 1 or 2 that we can unlock in the game. That's what really pissed me off about it. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. That it's sad that when standard JRPG components are being withheld from the game, costumes, items, weapons are being withheld from the game to be used as DLC. It's pretty bad, and especially when they're overpriced, like in Tales of Graces. So I hope maybe that this won't be the continuous trend, especially for Tales of Graces. Maybe not for. I hope it's not for Final Fantasy games that the costume section is there. And there's obviously space for costumes, and they're not unlockable in the game. You have to buy them for a certain price. Like I said, $2.99 is a sweet spot. Fine, you pay $2.99 for a costume, for an outfit, fine. But when you hit $3.99, you are overpriced. And I only bought, I believe, for Tales of Graces, the costume sets were $3.99, and I only bought I bought 1, 2, maybe 3. I think I'm gonna show you guys exactly what I mean about the prices. So yeah, they're pretty overpriced, and I don't like that at all. Let me know in the comments section what you guys think about this in JRPGs. I know I hate it when it comes to JRPGs because stuff that was, staple in JRPGs are taken out and used for DLC. I hate it. So, guys, let me know in the comment section what you guys think about this, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. What are you doing, Mather?